Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. I'm Mary Felling. I'm a physical therapist with over 30 years experience, and in the last 25 years I have specialized in an area called the John Barnes Myofascial Release approach. Today's video is for those of you who find themselves in a forward head position a lot, have stiff neck pain, have that computer position we call tech neck from looking at your computer all day. This is for you. Let's get started. In today's video, I'm going to show you two different techniques. The first one is for the front of the neck. In our society, we're very bent over a lot of the time, and that creates a forward head position and gives that little kind of hump in the back of the neck. I mean, I kind of have it. I can show it to you. You can see how I have this little hump right there, and that's called the kyphosis of the spine. And so this first technique, both of these techniques you're going to learn today really help with that. So the first one, you don't need any equipment, just your hands. You're going to make a V here with your hand. You're going to put it right over the base of your throat where those two collarbones are, and you're going to have the little V right over the notch of your at the base of your neck. Your other hand goes right on top. And the two hands, you're just going to let them compress back towards your back. You won't go far. There's just not a lot of tissue here. But once you're back, kind of like sinking into sand or wet clay, you'll hold the position, and without your hand sliding over the skin, you're going to have a second barrier. You're going to be dragging the tissue down. So I'm holding back and down. And from here, you're going to lift your chin up, and you're going to let your mouth open so it looks like this. And you'll feel a nice pull through the front here. So we're going to start our timer. I'll take you through it again. You're going to make this V with your hand. It goes right at the notch base of your throat. The other hand goes on top, compress back. Holding it compressed back, now take the slack out down and lift your head. With your head lifted, you can relax your jaw and relax your mouth open. And in this position, you'll start feeling, if you don't already feel, a nice pull through the front of your neck. And you very may well feel this on one side more than the other. It's just how we've come along in life and what different things in our lives have caused more tension patterns through one side of your neck than the other. It could be because you're right or left hand dominant. It could be because of you played softball for years and were a pitcher, and now that side's tighter. You know, there's a lot of reasons you can have those differences. But wherever you feel it, you want to kind of sink your feeling, your awareness in there, and just feel what else you notice. Because after a few minutes, you may feel this going up into the other parts of your head besides your neck. You may feel it come up underneath your eye, maybe into your cheek. You might feel it go back in front of your ear around that TMJ space. And some of you, by the end of these 5 minutes, may feel it going up into your head. So while we're here and you're holding that tissue down and you've got your head lifted, your chin is lifted, it's relaxed, we're holding here for 5 minutes. That's how long it takes when you put a mechanical energy into the body. It has to have a minimum of 5 minutes in that mechanical energy position for the piezoelectric effect to take hold. That piezoelectric effect is that bioelectric flow that moves through the fascia. So when it comes to those areas that are tight and bound down and dehydrated, an area we call a myofascial restriction, that piezoelectric effect works to allow that area now to soften, elongate, and rehydrate. And while you're here, especially around 5 minutes, and by the way, you can hold this much longer. I keep looking forward to the camera. You really want to keep your head back like this, but it isn't very helpful for me to stay back here and talk. So I'm coming forward. You guys are staying back here. But what I was saying is once we get that electrical flow going, that's when the fascia can start opening. So you can go longer than 5 minutes. I'm just going to do a 5-minute timer today because that's the minimum time. What you're feeling for are releases, and a release might feel like softening in the area. You might feel some warmth. You might feel less pain or less stiffness. That's a sign of a release. You might even feel an emotion come up. That's great. That means you're getting some release really deep. And as you're there and releases happen, you might kind of feel your head just want to move to one side because you'll feel, oh, I have some slack now. It's not as tight. And now your head can lean back a little bit further, not because you're forcing it, but because there's been softening and now there's slack in the length of the fascia in your neck. And so your head can move back. And it may not follow a linear pattern, you know, just this beautiful line all the way back. It might kind of go here and then here, and then you feel a release this way and back. So you just follow wherever your system shows you that length is coming back into the system. Go to the end of that length and maintain that hold of the mechanical energy still, that stretch. This is a really nice one to do in the middle of the day. If you have a lunch break, that you actually have a lunch break, this is great. It helps so much with technique, that forward head positioning, especially when you're right in the middle of a project and it's on your screen in front of you. You know, those kind of projects, all of a sudden when you take a break, you realize you've almost had your head right in the middle of the screen. This helps to relieve the tension from that. And if you can relieve the tension from something you've just done and you've reversed its effects, that means by the end of the day, that tension pattern from that position all day doesn't get to go home with you. You wake up the next day the same as you woke up the day before. All right, so we're at the end of our 5 minutes. So very gently come back forward. Some of you may not have been doing that position for years, so always go gently and softly, easily when you come back out of it. And I've got one more technique coming up for you, so stay tuned. So another position we're gonna do for the neck, for problems in the neck, stiff neck, tech neck, is actually going to be to help open up the shoulder, the base of the neck, and all the fascia through this area, because as that tightens, it happens to pull through the neck and create a forward head position. And by the way, both of these techniques on this video today are great for headaches, tension headaches too. So you can be sitting in a chair at your office, you can be anywhere doing both of these techniques, but I'm going to show you from the side. So the next one is to open the front of the chest. And you want to open the front of the chest to help get rid of forward head position. And so your hands are going to go behind and you're going to hold your hands together. And very gently, you just want to bring your shoulders back and lift your chest up like you have a very proud chest. So you're in this very proud position. You have a very tall spine. Your hands are behind you. You can lock them together. And it's a very gentle squeeze back. I'm not forcing at all. I'm just bringing back till I feel like, yeah, I've got all the stretch out and all the slack out from the front of my chest. So we're going to start the timer. For those of you who are still finding a spot, pause the video here and then come back when you're in your position. And for the rest of you, we've started the timer. So your chest is nice and tall. You've got your shoulders back, your hands are clasped behind you, and you can rest them on something behind you. If you're at a chair in the office, you can sit forward on your chair and maybe put a little pillow or rolled towel or your sweater or something behind you to rest your hands on so they're not doing any work. And you're just lifting the shoulders up, lifting your chest up. And we're feeling for a nice stretch across the front of the chest. So I'm going to break here for a minute. You guys keep staying in this position with your proud chest. I'm going to just talk a little bit about why it's so important to get this all open. Here in America, we're a bent society, also known as a flexion society, you know. So we're bent over our kids, our desks, we're in front of our computers all day, at night, you know, we're doing meal prep, and we're in this bent society. So our shoulders are forward, our heads are forward. Well, after a while, the myofascial system, myo means muscle, fascia is that sinewy cobweb of collagen, that fibers that go through, surround, and is supporting and infusing every structure. And that fascial web will adapt to whatever we say, postures we tell it we think we need. So if we're like this all day, the fascia says, oh, you want to be like this? You know what, I'll tighten up and I'll hold you like this. So after a while, 10, 20 years of this, it's very hard to start getting your shoulders back and your head back upright, because this has become so tense, and the tensile strength in the front of your shoulders is so great that the muscles in the back and the upper back and the neck and your shoulders back here are no match for this tensile strength here. And so we always find ourselves doing this because we've lost the strength back here. Why would we lose strength in the back here? Because those muscles here, from years of being rounded like this, have been overstretched. And an overstretched muscle is a weak muscle. So, in order to, I guess, really counteract that, if you're a person who knows you're in that bent position, in that flexion position during the day, every night these 2 exercises on this video will really help to counteract the tension patterns that built up from the day. So that means you're not having a buildup continuously day to day of the amount of tension through the fascial system, any myofascial restrictions through there, you're limiting them, and that's great so that you're less at a risk of that forward head, of the round shoulderedness, and because there's problems that come along with that, those can create pain and dysfunction for other reasons too. So let me get back to where we were. Now that you know why in our flexion society we tend to get so hunched over. So I've got that proud chest. I'm going to bring my legs out a little bit to make it a little easier on me. I'm just gently squeezing my shoulders. And you might find that you start wearing out between your shoulder blades, that your muscles go, oh, I can't keep this up. You just do your best. And you're not squeezing hard. We're not overworking. It's just enough to take the slack out of the front. The more you squeeze back here, the more slack you get up in here. You got that proud chest. You're not necessarily looking back. You can if you want. That'll help give a stretch too to the front. But what you really want to concentrate on is that the shoulders are back and the chest is lifted. And then you're just feeling for, where do you feel tight? Some of you might feel that your biceps are feeling very tight and elongated. Some of you might feel this being pulled into your rib cage. Some of you might feel it pulling up into the sides of your neck. You never know where those fascial restrictions and those tension patterns will end up. So we're coming into those last 30 seconds. I will stop at 5 minutes, but you're welcome to continue past that. You do not have to stop at 5 minutes. That's just the minimum. If you're feeling opening and you can feel a shoulder coming back, or that your head wants to move because things are opening up, stay with it. Maximize the effects of this. All right, so the timer is done. We finished the 5 minutes. I'm just going to let my shoulders kind of relax down, and I'm going to slowly bring my arms around. You don't want to go too fast, especially if this is something you haven't done in a while and really maxed out your elasticity and flexibility in your shoulders. Go slowly. I'm going to just turn around a little bit, because it does make you do it. It does get you in a different position than we normally get into during the day. If you'd like to go deeper into getting it more open into your chest, more open through the neck, and helping relieve tech neck and other problems through the neck and chest from being over your computer or the kids all day, I have a video out, in the shoulder video, and there's several techniques in there that are also very, very helpful for the same thing that these 2 techniques today are addressing. So take a look at that. It's the shoulder video. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next video.